Good morning, good evening, and good night. Good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you are. And welcome to Requiem for London Chronicles, the City of Martyrs. And we begin our fast track and paced scene as a certain kindred, an individual, has just rushed, blood pumping, blood fueling him as he's escaping the situation, the scenario of Jude's Church, St. Jude's Church. They have managed to climb the side of the building, climb up onto the rooftops. The moon is exposed upon them, the moon beams down on them, and they seem to be trying to escape the situation, escape the scene behind them. Hunters, enlightened, kindred. As he's fleeing, he's holding someone, carrying a very weak and injured individual whose arms are broken, whose leg is broken, who's barely breathing, but he's carrying her. And he's trying to find safety, but instantly he can recognize he can't sense the individuals, he can't feel their heartbeats, he can't smell them, but he can hear their movement, climbing on the walls, climbing on the rooftops, and he's being chased at the moment. So we were zooming on this figure as he's being chased on London rooftops.
And the figure in question is James E. Barber, the sheriff, the law of London, and he's carrying Cassandra. He's looking down at her, jumping. He's not out of breath. He could do this for days or everything like that because he is undead. Things like fatigue and running out of breath doesn't concern him, and it never really did. And he's just, when he's jumping from rooftop to rooftop, he looks down at her and shakes her head a little bit and says to her, Cassandra, nice to meet you again. Lovely, lovely night tonight. Just do me a favor. You seems like you can't even swallow my blood I'm trying to give you. Just nod and or shake your head if you can hear me.
She kind of just like nods her head and shakes it, trying to even blinks almost just to give you a sense that she understands, but she's breathing very heavily. Her throat is really collapsed in. You can definitely tell from her ribs have been collapsed or punctured. She's
As
very,
as
very, very injured.
and it seems like the sheriff has somehow alerted this alarm clock to ring at this time, but background noise. No, he looks down at her. I hope you remember me, Cassandra.
She again looks at you, and it has been a while since you've seen her. It's been many, many years actually. And the last time you did see her was with your, well, original sire, old sire. And you always known her as the prophet, the gifted one, the individual who's blessed with visions. But she, even though she looks the same, her eyes are somewhat older, more worn, more tired. And as she's kind of, her last breath is kind of exiting her body, she's just smiles at you as if she is deliberately not healing herself. She's deliberately just letting herself die. You know, you've seen ghouls recover from this before, with a few bit of blood pumped into them, but she's unreceptive. She wants to go. She wants to end, but she's helpless to stop you carrying her.
Oh, Cassandra. Yeah. It's been so long. So fucking long. I fucking hate you. Really, I want to kill you. But somehow I can think of one way to make this worse for you. You're never really gonna die. If you won't swallow that blood, if you swallow that blood I'm trying to give you, you will live. Otherwise you rise again. I'll make sure of it.
she just like coughs out a bit of blood. And actually, yeah, even her eyeball in her socket is kind of popping out slightly, and her throat has been crushed, and her head has been crushed so much from the brute force of what's just happened to her. And she just smiles at you. Nothing more than a smile. But at this point, you start hearing footsteps behind you, climbing behind you. And again, it's strange because you can't sense them. You can't hear their heartbeats. You can't smell them. You can't feel them. They are not prey. They are like empty vessels, shadows, bodies without blood, as it were. But they're around you and they start to come close.
What do you say, Cassandra? You want to live or you want to die?
Cassandra just again looks at you with the same kind of look, nod, doesn't care.
I'm actually gonna make a roll here. This could be fun.
Okay, yeah. See, you do know. Yeah, okay. I won't tell you. It is important, but at the same time, entirely up to you. Entirely up to you.
I was thinking flipping a coin actually, but I don't have any coins near me. That sucks.
I can roll a dice on the.
I'm gonna roll a dice. Just
because you have put a lot of effort to get in, and I don't know whether.
Yeah. Let's do it like this. Dave, I would know how to embrace someone.
Yes.
How quick is the embrace? And
it's random. It's sometimes it's instant, sometimes it takes days, sometimes it's again random. And actually, I'll describe it that the more will you put into it, the quicker and the more powerful and potent it is.
And post-mortem embraces.
You have to drain her dry. She's already lost a bit of blood from her injuries. She's literally like 2 points from death, lethal wise. You'd have to drain her very quickly, which you can do. Then you have to imbibe your blood into her. They're gathering around you, and this will be a roll, and it would be a roll of your blood potency. Yeah, it's just your blood potency, really. Perhaps stamina versus their kind of dexterity investigation to find you or to locate you quickly. And depends who gets more successes, depends whether she gets embraced quickly enough or whether you are found and you have to resolve combat with her, with them, as it were, to protect her as she's being embraced, or as the blood is pumping through her.
Cool.
Or you could simply just try and run now with her in tow.
I mean, the question was like post-mortem embraces. If she dies in my arms, I can embrace her.
Oh, later. You can do it. Sorry, to answer that question. If she dies, yes, a mortal can die for many weeks, and you can embrace them and awaken them.
So you'll just
somewhat similar condition, as it were.
So he's just gonna smile a little bit down at her and say simply into her ear, "I'll see you later," and he's just gonna wring her neck.
Oh God! Yeah, she just smiles at you again, trying to barely breathe, and she grasps her neck and just you hear that snap, that crack. Oh, and your beast is just oozing out at the moment. It's so excited at that thrill of just ending just a mortal's life so effortlessly, so easily. But then again, you hear the footsteps of the hunters behind you, and they're quick. They're already up on the rooftops. They're already near you, nearly quick as Kindred.
I'm just going to continue running.
Okay, we'll do a simple roll. So this will be your dexterity plus athletics and plus any vigor dots you have to represent your jumping ability and then your strength in this. You do have celerity, so you can, if you spend a blood point, I will double the amount of successes you've got to represent that you're moving twice as fast.
Okay.
People.
Okay, cool.
But you still need to roll the successes to gain it. I'll just.
Cool. I'm gonna spend a willpower as well.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So just to get this right, so you dexterity plus athletics plus any vigor dots plus your willpower expenditure, which is 3. And if you spend a blood point, I will allow you to double the successes you gain to represent
let me just get my notes of health and shit up.
Okay, but this will be a difficulty of -3 due to the terrain and the individuals chasing you.
So I'm spending 1 blood into celerity. I'm spending 1 blood into strength, giving me more successes. More things.
Oh, if you spend blood, what's your blood? It's your blood points is 2, I'm assuming.
Yes.
So you may spend 2 blood points. So you may spend 1 in celerity and in vigor.
I'm actually gonna. Yeah.
If you spend it in vigor, they will give you automatic successes up to your vigor dots, whatever they may be. You'll get that many automatic successes.
I just spend it into vigor and spend it into celerity as well. Then, so that it's 2 automatic successes, making it 4. I have 4 strength plus 2 athletics. What?
Okay, well, let's just trick check. So let's roll your dice pool first, and then we'll calculate everything afterwards.
What was the dice pool?
Roll your dexterity. It's dexterity because it's multiple terrain plus athletics plus your vigor normally, because that adds to sort of strength and rolls engaged in jumping and whatnot. Just roll that normally, and then we'll see what happens afterwards.
Plus minus 0 because I spent willpower.
Also, minusing 3.
And as I spent willpower, that's plus 3, and I'm just
going to but you plus 3 as well, so it's just a normal dice pool for you.
That is 8 d8. Don't d10.
I can't see it. Is it appearing?
No, I haven't rolled.
Oh, sorry, you've not rolled it yet. So how many? Sorry,
8d10, I think.
8d10. Okay, this will be a contested roll. I'm going to roll some dice as well, and we'll see. 9, 9, 8. So that's 3.
Plus, so 5 successes, doubling that. So that's 10 successes.
Feck. Okay, yeah, then they're going to try and chase you, but you're so quick and far. Okay, let's just roll, and this will negate the successes. I think just 1 success. So you're just super fast, even without the celerity. So to describe the scene, you're jumping, you're leaping, you're using your celerity to run across the rooftop very fast, and then using your vigor to jump so high up, and people following you. They're very athletic. They're just as quick as you, and they're wearing these. Yeah, if you do look back, you see them. They are wearing these sort of hooded clothing, these cloaks. They seem to have tattoos around them, and again, they appear as mystical creatures. You can't quite sense them, but you just jump over one street to another street with such force, with such height, that they just can't do it. They stop immediately as you kind of hover over, and you can see their frustration as they stomp their feet and go grr, as you go higher and higher, and as you jump further and further. But that doesn't stop them. They still seem to be able to trace you. They still seem to be able to follow your direction. It takes them longer, and you have a moment to catch your breath. You have a moment to pause, and you've used a bit of blood, you've used a bit of vigor to sort of do this, and you're left alone at the rooftop at the moment with a water tower and Cassandra's dead body next to you. Oh, I need to put more penalties because you're carrying a body as well, but that's for future stuff.
He's gonna look. He's gonna look down on her and like, no waste in, just letting her be full of that sweet precious thing. So he's just gonna quickly like the maybe 2-3 bloods she has left.
You drain her, and as you drain her, you drink a few points of human vitae. She's already lost quite a bit of health and blood as it is. But then suddenly you drink 1 point of blood, and it's like, as you discover, it's Banshee. It's Banshee blood in her system, and it goes into you, and you've drunk Kindred Vitae. And we'll do some rolls later as that sweet, foul, horrid Vitae comes into your mouth. It tastes of death, it tastes of decay, it tastes of foulness, but at the same time, it's so sweet and suckly and interesting is the best word. Very interesting. But we'll do some rolls on that later. That doesn't have to appear right now.
And
taste that in her blood.
Yeah, I'm just gonna add 3 blood points.
Oh yeah. Add whatever. No, yeah, about 3. Three's about right. Yeah, that's what's left.
And he's just gonna continue.
Okay, so we'll do one more roll, and I'm gonna add more penalties because I didn't realize because you're carrying her at the same time. So we'll do the same roll, and this represents a final kind of date label. You'll dodge him completely. But this time it's going to be minusing us. It's going to be minusing at least 4. I'm going to say 5. Let's go crazy 5 because you're carrying her and you're trying to really find somewhere safe now and secure. And I'm going to leave it up to you. Are you going to carry on running away from them, or are you going to find somewhere to hide?
I'm just running. After a while, he knows that these people, whatever imbued them, they are still human. And they can't keep up forever. Jumping and everything like that is going to tire them out. So after a while, they're going to give up the hunt.
Okay, so we'll just simply do the same roll, but this time minusing 5. Let's make this very difficult because you're carrying someone. You've been doing it for a while. They've been keeping up pace. There's more of them. And I still think you've rolled a lot of successes. So. Okay.
So I'm doing the same thing again. I'm spending, and I always spent blood on my end. So that is 6 successes.
God damn it. Okay, repeat. I'll do the same thing. 6. 10. You never know. You can get loads of successes. Oh, hashtag. Either 2. You're too fast. You're far too fast for them. As you're running, fleeing the sea. Again, similar thing of you're jumping from rooftop to rooftop to rooftop. And at some point you go down sort of an alleyway. You sort of leap down, you jump far down, 3, 2, 4 stories down, land. And at this point they kind of jump over you as if they've misguided you. They don't know quite where you are. And as they kind of jump over you, you're left with a few more moments. And you're sure now that, yeah, they've gone. You're still in a sort of Dockland area. It's run down, deprived sort of area. Few mortals, humans, mice, rodents roaming around. But there's a bit of seclusion at the moment. And you're kind of next to these big sort of filled bins in this sort of dirty, decrepit alleyway.
Cassandra. Whatever you think you did was good. You are still the little fucking twig as always. I never really liked you. You always were the prize on mommy's eyes, weren't you? And he smacks her, still dangling a head, bent out of shape and everything like that. Fucking hell, you said you were gonna die tonight, but of course you're gonna die tonight, but you're gonna live. You're gonna live a fucking tragic little life. And I'm not gonna be fucking good on you. Oh, I'm gonna be mean. You drank some banshee blood, didn't you? Oh, you little fucking bitch.
As you continue to hit, as you continue to just beat her corpse, as it were, there's no response. She's dead. She's lifeless. And the sort of water is dripping from sort of the previous rain that was occurring earlier, and the gutter water is sort of dripping down and splashing into the alleyway. The stench of rot, food, and waste surrounds you, and you're just beating this already broken body that's in front of you and smashing her in, and just all
And
those
that
memories of your sire, and your sire loved this person more than you. Definitely.
he's not giving her a little just the biggest beatdown ever. He's more or less just smacking her around a little bit,
Mm.
and then he just goes and like cracks his knuckles and just says, oh, "Let's just fucking do this then." I swear I would never do this again, but shit, if I don't need some answers, then fucking hell, this is gonna be kind of fun. What the fuck am I doing? Really? No, I can't. Is is it worth it? Is it fucking worth it? Yeah. And he's going to his head and thinking about like the promises he made. Like the Invictus said, you need to sire, you need to make something, you need to do and give up that humanity you have inside and get a prodigy, someone you can teach, someone to give your skills to, how to hunt down and you hunt down people, how to kill vampires and everything like that. And he looks at her and just shrugs a little bit and says, "Oh well." And he's just gonna stick his little finger in his mouth, and he's gonna spend a blood and everything like that, and begin embracing her.
Now you has your PC done this before?
Never.
Never done this before. So you roughly know, and it's actually bizarre. You've you've seen it done. You've lived long enough to seen it done, and it's this thing of where no one tells you how to do it. It's just instinctive. It's as if that part of you wants it to happen. It needs it to happen. The curse must spread. The beast must continue. And as you, via sort of a Davis or bloodline, you kind of instinctively just sort of slit each kind of finger to allow a small amount of blood to pour out. And you pour it across her body, across her face, across her chest, her bosom, her gut, her torso, and then into a most intimate area. And as you kind of force it into an intimate area, that's when you spend the willpower. You force this person to come alive via the blood, via the will. And you not only force her alive, you give her a piece of your humanity, a piece of your nature to her. A part of you seems to separate, disconnect, and it becomes her. It becomes her fire. It becomes the embers that lights her back to life. And with this, she kind of just suddenly breathes air, trying to breathe air. She seems to panic. Her body spasms. She kind of reaches for the walls and punches them in, and starts to grasp at whatever she can. And she'll immediately try to get up, and her eyes have gone red, and she's immediately going to feed on the closest thing possible.
I'm just gonna
And
hold her down.
if you hold her down, she's not strong enough to resist. But yeah, she's going to get frenzying at the point. She needs more blood. She needs more blood.
And I'm just gonna say like, shh, easy now, and I'm just gonna continue to just will my blood into her. Uh, give her
Okay.
give her good 3 blood would put me down at 6 blood now.
Okay. Okay. So you're kind of getting low, and she's getting enough to at least stop fringing. You know, you feed her more blood. And you offer a hand, you offer whatever, she just jumps at it and starts to feed and feed, feed. But then at some point, she just sort of like lets go and then grasps and just goes as if to breathe for air, but then realizes she doesn't need to. She kind of
Easy. No need to breed. You're still here. In a different form, though. Welcome to death. How are you?
oh. Oh god. It stopped. It's finally stopped. Ah.
No. Cassandra, we need to get the fuck out of here.
You. Oh, I always knew it'd be you that, that sent me here, not her. You. I always saw you at my death. Oh, it's all new now. I've never seen any of this before. Is this how you see the world? And she's looking at her hands and her sort of feeling her teeth, her fangs, and feeling her skin as if, and it's that realization of what the kindred are like, that sense of emptiness, the sort of void of no feeling, no taste. Only the blood, only the beast sustains you.
Shit. What the fuck am I gonna do with you now? Come on, get up. Oh shit, you look like shit. And he put out, takes out her, takes his trench coat and wraps it around her.
Oh yeah, her
I,
clothes are torn. She's all limp, and actually it's weird. One of her arms, which is broken, and she kind of just corrects it and just snaps it back into place, and it's kind of freshly healed or freshly made anew. And even her pale skin now suddenly becomes now lively and blossoming. The only thing that retains from her, she doesn't have those kindred kind of eyes, those reflective eyes. They still remain a sort of tint of aqua or blue about them. It's as if those are the key features. Everything else seems pale and nothing, but those eyes seem to be very prominent with her. And she looks to you as if realizing something and goes, "Oh, you bastard, you couldn't let me die." And she's just trying to take a swing at you now, and she's trying to hit you. She has a bit of vigor in her, she's got some fight in her, but it's your celery, of course. You dodge, you block, you weave out of the way in a very sort of, oh come on now, we haven't got time for this manner.
yeah, I'm just gonna duck and weave a little bit and say, Cassandra, and he's just gonna grab her hand and just stare into her. You're my child now. Listen to your fucking sire.
Oh god, my head. Oh, what happened? Are we the fire? Is London burning? Has the floods arrived?
No, you're all fine. You're gonna tell me all of that later, though. For now, let's get packing a little bit. Yeah, underground is nice, right? You want to get home? I want to get home. I need something to drink as well.
She just nods as if okay, and she again. It's bizarre. It's like someone is just a newborn. Someone is just coming to a new skin, a new suit, as if she's really feeling everything out, and she's kind of sensing the bricks, the dirt, even the stench and foulness on the floor is completely different now. And of course, you know this during your embrace. It's a similar experience. That your senses change, everything changes, everything becomes dull and black and white. Only the blood seems to be colourful, become more focused. But you head towards an underground tube station, heading back to a haven, safe place, somewhere
Yeah.
secure.
I think he's going back to the jazz club Haven. Treadwell says a little bit. He doesn't know how his sister's gonna react with this.
Okay, so this will be the Lunar Lounge. I think is the jazz.
Yeah, no, it's his. It's the Ames's Haven. Above some jazz club in Soho.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, yeah. So okay, no, fair enough. It's a particular club, particular place in Soho. It takes you a few moments, and actually, when you're on the tube, you will have a few moments. You have a few moments to sort of relax. The tension dies down, and you get the usual sort of merry, drunk Friday night goers, Saturday night goers. They're on the late night tube. They jump about, completely oblivious to what is going on around them in the real world or the hidden world. Some of them laugh at you, some joke with you, are polite. And Cassandra is, you can tell she's really holding on close to you. And you can tell she wants to eat them. You can tell she really just wants to just pounce on them and eat them right now. But she's exuberating a bit of will to sort of prevent herself, stop herself.
He's just gonna say, no, it's not worth it. Come on, get yourself together now, girl.
It's that beast. But she's doing a lot better than many newborn kindreds that you have seen before. Perhaps it's the experience of a ghoul who has known kindred for a long time. They understand the thirst. They understand how kindred act, but she's still quite new. Her blood is so fresh and new, and she just wants to. She just wants to push herself against others, and you can even sense that majesty sort of oozing out of her. She just wants to make them come to her, to make them her pets, her things. But then she closes her eyes and tries to focus and tries to deal with her new nature, her new beast. And at this point, after a bit of a journey, you're just about to reach Soho. And let's just simply say, as the tube doors open, you get that similar sensation. There are people here. They're not. Wait, you just see a cloaked figure in the distance in the corner. He's human, he's normal, but he's not. You can't hear his heart. You can't feel him. He doesn't seem to recognize you, but it's a sort of. You can tell. You've sensed them before now. You've experienced them. They're there. They're around the main tube stops. They're guarding the entranceways. God, they're everywhere. Now we'll have to do a roll now, and this will be a composure and socialize roll, just to see how well you blend in. Now I'm going to make a roll for Cassandra because she may freak out at some point because she really needs to feed and eat, and we'll see what happens. So for you, composure plus socialize, no penalties because you're in a big crowd. It's hard to tell. He's using blush life to do that. But I'll make a roll for Cassandra. Oh yeah, you pass. Very good there. Okay. She's a newborn, so I'm going to give her some things. So be composure, socialize, but that's. So he's quite high, so it's 6, but minusing 3. So it's going to be 3 dice. No. Unfortunately, you are pro. You will cross the tube. You go along. No one, you don't bother anyone. You've been there many times, and you know the drill. But Cassandra, she's that blood is so fresh. It smells. There's so many people here, so much food, so many new bloods, and unfortunately, there's a guy. You get off the tube. you're on the platform. You're about to go towards the exit where this hooded figure is, and she just sees this guy who looks at her and looks at her in a really interested way. It's like, hey, you new to London? You've been in London before? I can show you some good stuff. And she just smiles at him. She lets go of your arm or lets go of your embrace for a brief moment. It goes, oh yes, I'm new.
I'm not gonna let her
I'm
do
very
this.
new, and she will just jump him. She will jump him and try to feed.
If she Dave, if she is in an iron grip, she won't be able to. So
In
that would
any
be a
case, she lets out, she jumps, and you have to hold her back. You have to rein her in. You have to, like, she's screaming and spitting at this individual, and her fangs are bare, and she's just like crying out. At this point, I will mention you do have majesty. That is a factor here.
yeah. I'm just gonna pull her back and say like, activate majesty and be like, hey dude, she's really fucking drunk. We got in a fight. Just let it go.
And of course, to any, I don't want to make you roll. This is all quite average. He just looks to you and goes, "Hey, oh no, it's fine, dude. She's she's drunk way too much, man. I love the fake fangs there, man. You going to like?
Yeah, we were at a vampire party, you know.
Oh wow, I love it, man. I do I do the whole vamp roleplay thing, and
Yeah, really. Oh,
he
cool.
he goes into this whole thing.
See you at the game sometime, yeah.
Yeah, it goes in. It gets more heavy and more heavy. But of course, the mortals around you don't notice, and your majesty saves you from that. But this particular individual does notice. And as you walk towards the exit, as you walk towards the out of the tube station, he is following you. You can tell, you can see him. You look back, he's there. He knows you're looking at him, but he doesn't know that you're looking at him. You realize he's looking at him. It's all back and forth. So you slowly getting out of the tube station. You're walking up the stairs. You're walking out, and you're in Soho at the moment. What do you do? Cassandra does calm down, and she kind of, again, is trying to breathe in. At some point, she vomits on the curb, vomits a bit of blood, because again, her body, she doesn't know what's happening. She doesn't know what's going on, and vomits slightly. And you know, again, the embrace is a very heavy thing for a new.
Yeah. What kind of time is it?
It's quite late. Sun is coming up in a few hours, at least 2 to 3 hours.
Let's say we get up at like Tottenham Court Road or stuff like that. It's big construction work going on.
Yes, there is.
And around that area, there's so many small alleys and everything like that.
There is. I'm going to interrupt it as you're kind of looking for these small alleys, and as this individual is following you, suddenly a car will pull up. A big limousine car will pull up, and the door will open, and a hand will go out and gesture for you to come in.
And
entirely up to you whether you do this or carry on.
Do I sense a beast within the car?
Yes, a very familiar beast. Oh God, a beast you don't want to go into a car with right now, but
he just nods and goes in. Like he says like to Cassandra, let's go in.
Cassandra's just looking at you, what? And then of course, you go into this car, you go into this limousine.
And as he goes in, he's simply going to say, well, hello, Arthur. I haven't seen you in a while.
As you sit down, and as you say that, of course, you kind of go on the couch. You've been in this limousine before. You know where the blood is. You know where the good blood is. You know where the bad blood is. It's all provided. And you sense, you just sense that young, competitive beast. Now, of course, this is an individual who is far younger than you, envious.
What is his stats in the Victor status? This is actually really fucking important right now.
Now, this is weird. He is younger than you. He has more Invictus status dots, but you have been chosen to be the voice of the mother, which gives you a kind of a you are one higher than him in a weird way. It's very
Yeah.
politically speaking, it's very bizarre.
I've,
He is more in charge of the your chapter, the Invictus chapter. He has more power than you in the Invictus chapter. But because that you are the voice of the mother, he can't touch you. It's this bizarre kind of loophole thing. It's very political, very
yeah.
political.
My guess is as well as I have dots of Crimson Council
This,
status.
of course, as well, yes, adds on top of all of it that yes, he can't touch you basically, but he's very
But
powerful.
yeah, the thing about this is, especially Invictus, is there is everyone who is actually higher ranked than you. You need to do greetings and everything like that.
Yes, of course. I'm going to say your character is quite lax about it. Your character doesn't quite care for the pomp and ceremony of like, oh, greetings, the third chancellor, house leader of
Yeah.
such and such as and such. You're like, hey, the
Yeah,
accountant.
as said, he's like, oh hey Arthur, I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, exactly, and that just pisses him off so much. But at the same time, you're in the van now. You're in the limousine, and of course, blood is given. Cassandra will just drink whatever's there, provided she's like some thirsty. Someone that's just like just come out of the desert. She's just drinking whatever's
Yeah,
in front of her.
and James is gonna grab a bottle as well and just down it.
Fair enough. Yeah, and he then you'll get this figure look at you, and of course, it is Arthur, or referred to as by most in the Invictus, the chapter, the dynasty of the Silent Mother, as the accountant. He is a rather young kindred, but has many fingers in many pies, and is considered one of the most powerful individuals in the Silent Mother's dynasty. He's the individual that runs all the finances. He's the head civil servant. He's the one that keeps things going, running. And you two have a very bitter history, and he does hate you very much because you were chosen to be the mother's voice and not him. But as you greet him, as you do your casual, sort of insulting introduction, he just smiles, looks awkwardly. Again, he always appears in a sort of very dark, shadowy form. His hair is a bright sort of blonde or gold color. His eyes are gold, sort of twinkly, sort of shine. And even though he gives these smiles or gestures of friendliness, they come across very artificial, very fake, very fraudulent. And
And
he,
he said,
oh, sorry,
yeah,
Carrie.
yeah, go ahead.
He looks to you and just goes, ah, my dear step brother. How good to see you again.
Oh, drop the fucking act, baby brother. I know you don't like me. We can drop the fucking charades. There's no Invictus in town.
There's always need for formality, for familiarity, for simple hospitality, step brother.
And he looks to him, and with sincerity, and he has etiquette and everything like that James has, and he says sincerely, looking in his eyes, that is a Venture thing as well. That's something he picked up, like trust in looking in someone's eyes. And he says, sincerely, brother, thank you for your hospitality.
I think make a roll here. I think if you can, if this is composure, socialize, add your status dots on top of this. Your Invictus status dot.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, not the crimson one.
Because if I rolled all my dots, I would like get plus
No, you
8
get
extra dice. I have so many
It's,
fucking dots of
no,
status.
no,
I don't even
I
know.
know, I know. Now, Invictus status dots, composure, and socialize. But he's got status. Oh, actually, wait. What? His status is like 3.
My
What is?
status is free.
So don't apply your status dots. So this will be a composure socialize roll, and let's just see how many successes you get.
Would Majesty apply?
Uh, you could go there. You go there. He could apply dominate. It's just it gets messy once you apply disciplines on people.
No, it's just that is the passive effect of it. I don't know.
No, you have to activate Majesty, and
All right.
Kindred can be aware of the fact that you're doing that to them. Mortals, no, but Kindred, yeah. It's like an open barrier. If you're using Majesty on me, I'm going to dominate you. It's very rude to do such a thing.
I want success, but I mean,
so you come across, you come across. Look, I understand, my dear stepbrother, that you are in a very difficult position, being sheriff of London in a princeless town. But please just remind yourself of the formalities, the discipline of politeness. They come across so well to many, not just the kindred, but others in the hidden world.
to be honest, Arthur, um, I don't know why I got this fucking job to begin with. I think it would be better suited to you.
Sheriff for me, I do not reach for such lowly things.
No, I'm not talking about that, Arthur. You know well as I do. You wanted to be an agent and everything like that as well, maybe.
You don't need to roll empathy or anything like that. He hints with an eyebrow of he is actually fucking annoyed and pissed off at the fact that he was made an agent and he wasn't. And he doesn't understand why. There's a frustration that comes across his brow as he raises it and looks at you and goes, I do not understand the council's will or our dear mothers, but they know best. They are the elder, the Maflusia, they are the ancient ones. We are there to obey, to interpret their will.
Good. Arthur, I want to introduce you to someone.
I already know of this individual. Cassandra, is it not? The prophet of the crone?
Not Crone anymore, of the Invictus. And she is our newest dynasty member.
I hope you're well aware of the laws of embracing such a rash individual. You will be held responsible for her actions.
And he looks to him and shrugs and says, Arthur, you know very very well I know the laws.
I was thinking that. Do you? It seems that you have been running around this town, claiming yourself as sheriff, calling in favors with the police, with others, money, contacts, a large amount of Invictus investment. And for what? This woman. Is that your result?
That and some more things, but now Arthur, give me this. Say it like this. This is what I said to everyone when I've got this job. I don't want this fucking job. I want to just hang around back in New York, catching the bad guys. Killing people is what I do. You, and he lowers his voice a little bit. Mother sent in the fucking attack squad when she should have sent in a representative such as you.
Please You may be Mother's voice, but you do not know her will. She sent me on my own task, as I'm sure she has sent you on yours. Don't assume to know what she is planning.
I'm just merely saying what I think.
This is why you will never be truly one of us, one of the Invictus clan. Typical Deva, so passionate, so full of emotion. Logic seems to skip your kind, doesn't it?
What do you want, Arthur?
Ah, no more talk, straight to business.
I've never been a man for talking, you know that as well. I just barely passed the Invictus Standardist test and excelled to my thing of my majesty.
I have infiltrated and dominated the politic corporate of London, but the enlightened have fought back. Many dealings, many dominations have resulted in backfires, losses, net profits, as it were. I'm not sure how they do it, but they've managed to foil my plans.
To begin with, Arthur, I'm going to share some information with you, and this is just merely because you are one of our by the dynasty and by the Invictus as large. I don't care about the rest of the Crimson Council and what they think. All I care about is what Mother says, and Mother says and see all the things I see and hear. These are not fucking mortals you're dealing with.
How so?
It is under my belief that they are, I don't know, working with angels. Believe it or fucking not.
Oh, how wonderfully preposterous.
You're sitting next to two undead things, and you can't just say maybe an angel exists. I know I don't know anything about this shit either. I'm a gunman, not a prophet of whatever.
I believe
Or
in profits and margins and faults. I leave the business between angels and demons with yourself and other rogues as such.
it seems to my belief that they are people unaffected by certain tricks of the mind and everything like that. We can't sense them. Many of these people I've been running from tonight. I killed a few of them, but it seems, as far as I know, that they have a habit of popping back up when you even kill them. So I would suggest, double tapping.
This would explain much. I spent much investment in purchasing, buying, and dominating Sandfield back in London. Usually, this task is quite easy, but it would seem they have an ability to ignore such gifts of the curse. I will have to rethink my tactics.
Arthur, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I don't care about our previous things. But let's not make this into a war between two brothers, shall we?
Ah, you are Mother's voice, herald of her will. I cannot touch you unless you prove yourself useless in the eyes of our covenant. But I'm sure that day will come, and I am a patient individual.
I'm simply suggesting that we work together. I don't care if you want the throne or not. I don't want it, so you can have it if you want to.
crown does not suit my brow. I merely wish to run the city, to make sure it functions, to make sure the Invictus's true will is enforced. And of course, you have your place as a debt collector, to put it simply. But your place, of course, is important. I only wish for the Invictus to gain control of London again and run it for
Hey.
another 1,000 years.
Oh, we are on the same page then. I just want the law back. I want to finish this job so I can go back to mine.
Please ease my tension, my paranoia. I've heard some rumor, some tales of your involvement with an individual or individuals who may be related to the Carthians of London.
Go ahead.
I've heard whispers, tales of a rat king.
What?
You may laugh, my dear sibling. Animals are foolish and simple, but they do not lie. They tell stories of the mighty Carthians, Rat King beginning a new underground. We cannot allow them to reassemble back in London. Even one member is too many.
um, Give me a minute. I'm just gonna trying to sort out what I know off game and what I know in game a little bit in my head. Okay. He looks the offer. The only person I've ever seen talk to a rat is a man named Jonathan.
Jonathan. This should be enough. I will look into this, Jonathan.
He was also tonight's scene.
Yes, I already have heard of the bloodbath between the police and the terrorist group, Banshees.
Also, let it be known that the Banshees are confirmed Diablerists.
Foulness, heresy. Ugh. To eat one's sire, one's benefactor. Such a sin. Such primitive behavior. He spits blood. He spits blood on the floor because it's such a horrid thing to do. I'm sorry for you to witness such a thing, my sibling.
I would have done something about it, but the fucking Enlightened got in, and I needed to save her. So I was going to get her somewhere safe, feed her blood, but she did want to die. And just after that, the Enlightened showed up and with their assassins.
He just nods and looks and goes, I've not dealt with the assassins, the footmen, but no, I wage a war on the enlightened in the daylight. My ghouls, my siblings, my influence is pushing them, but they have will, they have power to push back. I will do my best to keep the masquerade, to keep things silent and quiet, but you are Mother's blessed. You are the one to find this foul horridness that is keeping London empty of kindred. I will leave this task to you, but you fail, you slight offhand you weaken, I will be there, and I will make sure you pay for
Have I ever failed in the mission so far, Arthur?
it. Not yet, my dear sibling, not yet. The time is long and chances are very open. I will leave you. And he kind of just, the car stops, he gestures, and he leaves you outside where your residence is, wherever you want to go. He
Oh,
knows, of course, he knows.
it's set up by the Invictus. Of course he
It's all,
knows.
of course, he knows. And he gestures for you to go. But of
And he
course,
just
he
gives
leans.
he gives him a card and says, "Not that you don't know my number."
He'll look and go, go ahead. Spread your law, spread your justice, but be aware there are Invictus agents in the city. If they mention my name, give them some leeway, some sense of justice, as it were. In regards to this prophet, I will let you deal with her
Uh,
forces or truth as you determine it. You want the
and
mother's blessed, I shall allow it so.
and he just stands, and as
Mhm.
he exits, he does a kind of a, you know, I wouldn't know, like pushing his hand to his chest and says, "For the Invictus."
For the Invictus, may the silent mother reign, may her secrets whisper truth and lies. May one become the other and both the same. He does some bizarre hand gesture to.
Yeah, and
Of course, he's infallible. He knows exactly the right way to do it. He knows the exact gestures. He knows the exact words. You don't. But of course, he's annoying. Even when he lets you leave, you can still sense the tension from his beast of where he wants to. He wants to eat you. He wants to devour you. He wants the respect that the mother gives you for some reason and doesn't give him.
he's just gonna nod, and he's gonna close his door after himself.
Right, so you're left in this Soho area club. Please describe away.
Yeah, he takes her up, and it's this, as said, as so many times before, it's this apartment over a gas club, and he simply goes up, unlocks the door, and says, "Welcome in."
Cassandra's following behind you. She's had a bit of blood in her system now, and she's a bit more level, but is still trying to work out her new condition, trying to understand what she is or who she is. And she'll walk up the stairs immediately, and actually, she'll crawl up the stairs and start to crawl through the door and crawl along the floor and then on the furniture. And she'll actually climb on the walls and then climb on the ceiling with her extra strength or extra vigor. She just holds on and looks down, going, "Oh, it looks so easy how you do it. I didn't realize how easy it is for your kind to do this." But then lets go and jumps down on the floor, and she sort of lands on the sofa and then looks at you, just going, "Well, darling, what do you want to know?"
Tell me everything.
Now I can't remember much. I She always told me, your sire, the one that made you, that if she embraced me, I'd lose the gift, and the gift would become blurred. No more. It's a mortal gift. That's why she never made me your sister. but I have some memory. I have some vagueness of what happened and what occurred, and I knew this would happen. I knew I'd be here on this. She's feeling the couch, and of course, she's really feeling the fabric and enjoying the kind of fabric. And oh, she's just really excited about the sensation of the material. Oh God, this just feels so amazing. But then she sort of corrects herself and looks and goes, "Ah, yeah, the prophecy. Yes, that's what you want to know, isn't it? Yeah, I knew I'd be here. I knew I'd be telling you, and that's it. That's all I can remember. Everything else is just a blur, a distant memory. God, I'm hungry. Have you got anything to eat?
You know what? Uh, Seeing that, I think I can still drink animal blood.
I think you can. I think you can. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your blood potency.
Uh, I don't know. Uh, I think so. But he's just gonna go into his refrigerator, and he has this bag, like a big bag of just butchering animal waste blood.
Mhm.
And she just gives it to her.
Oh yeah, you throw it at her, you give it to her, and she just devours it instantly and just sort of oh God, and she looks better. She heals more. Wounds or injuries seem to heal more, and her skin is so pale now and so lifeless, and she only has those sort of very bright sort of blue eyes and that sort of very red hair. But she looks to you and just sort of goes, "Oh God, that's so much better. God, they always told me it'd be this good, but damn it, that's so good." And just devouring everything. Goes, what?
He
Okay, I tell you, what do you want to know? What do you want to know? I can recall it from memory, I think.
Do you know how to stop the enlightened?
Right. The vision's blurred, but it's the Order Draco, their haven, the place where they used to be. It's there. There's a object. There's a thing somewhere. It's the lowest vault. They called it the deepest vault. The vault below the tree. That's it. Yeah, the vault below the tree. That's where it is. That's where it rests. That's where it hungers. Oh, it can kill it can kill the angel. It can kill her. Oh, it's darkness. It's darkness. It's a weapon forged in the darkest depths of the ocean. The the deep seas of Mersey, deeper than salt, deeper than dirt. It was forged. No light can touch it. No light can harm it. It will make you immune to her. She can't burn you if you wield this weapon.
All right.
But
Good to know.
there's
Uh,
more. There's more. Oh, there's a second half to it. I can't remember. There's another part of the prophecy. I can't remember. That's she knew I couldn't remember. My living self, my moral self, she would never remember. Yeah, that's the trick. Oh, not a trick. That's just how prophecies work. Oh, God damn it.
Second question. I never thought about writing all this down.
She did. She wrote it down. Cassandra told you. Cassandra warned everyone, but everyone ignored her or didn't listen to her, or she wrote it down and the words would become garbage. prophets, the messages were from something else, something greater. I can't remember. It's so hard to describe now. But at least the
Right.
headaches are gone now. I don't feel that anymore. God. And she sort of walks up to you and she will start to caress you. She'll start to stroke you. She'll start to feel you and go, "Thank you so much for just freeing me from that, freeing me from being a prophet that no one listened to."
Stop.
No, come on. And she sort of starts to kiss you slightly on the neck and whatnot.
He's just gonna pick her up by her throat and say, look at her eyes and say, "Stop."
And fangs will kind of emerge, going, "Why stop now? You made me. Why stop now? Well, let's keep going. Let's just see where this goes."
I only do that to manipulate, and I'm not gonna manipulate you. That's the blood's gonna do that for me.
She just sort of looks at you and crosses her head and just sort of bitterly sort of looks at and it's not spit, but it's a kind of a anger that she kind of emits from her face or from her throat and turns aside and just sort of
Dave,
Yep.
do I need to feed her at 3 different nights for Bloodbound to like?
She's bloodbound one to you because
All
she's
right.
fed off you. If you feed her in another scene, that's bloodbound two.
All right.
And an additional scene, bloodbound three.
Yeah,
So at the moment she's bloodbound one to you, so she's very tied to you. And yes, you're blood sympathy three, so you know where she is and
yeah. And
sensation.
he's just gonna set her down in the toilet, like at the sofa, and say, "I'm gonna give you some clothes, and you're gonna listen to me, and you're gonna do what I say. Otherwise, otherwise, I will revoke the right to your blood."
She just hisses at you and goes into the corner and starts to reflect. It's so bizarre. It's like she's trying to understand her new self. It's as if, yeah, it's hard to see. It's as if she's not her mortal form. She's this new individual, and it's affected her more because her mortal form had these abilities of prophecy and powers, but now her kindred form doesn't have that. Her kindred form is lesser, and she is trying to deal with that and is having issues, of course, with it. But we'll leave with the final notes on our main character as he's left the scene of a newly.
Dave, are you there? Dave? I think Dave died. Rest in peace. Oh, Dave, I think you unplugged your microphone, dude.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, sorry. I don't know. I apologize. I think the microphone died for some reason. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, I apologize. I was describing the end of the scene where basically we have an individual who is dealing with her new immortality and bloodlust and the death of her mortal self. And we will zoom in on the last thoughts of our main character who has just embraced a new child and dealing with the interruption of the Invictus and the accountants and bureaucracy. And the Hunters of London zoom in.
Through James's mind, there's only 2 words to describe the 2 people, one who he made this evening and one who has met this evening. And those 2 words are Fucking brat. End of scene.
And we're happily end scene. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show.